this you will find examples of that very clear demarcation between external life and internal life. Like Jadabharata, he was internally active. He was a Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat. Externally behaved like a dumb and dull and deaf man. Shh. The external world, he was practically like dead, but internally fully alive and active. Similarly, when Vidura, in his travels, met Uddhava and inquired him about Lord Krishna, immediately Uddhava was shedding torrents of tears, and he didn't speak anything. For a long time he was silent, it is said. And then he came down from Vaikuntha, Prabhupada writes, to the external world, and then he spoke about Lord Krishna's pastimes. And there Prabhupada says, although Uddhava was present in this world, his consciousness was posted in the Vaikuntha. And therefore it is said he came down from there to this world, and then he narrated all the pastimes of Krishna. So that means Uddhava was also experiencing something very much in the internal world. He was aloof from the external world. Externally, he was as if dead. He was silent. He had become practically unconscious. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he ran to Jagannath Puri to take darshan of Lord Jagannath, and during his first entry into Jagannath Puri, he ran to the sanctum sanctorum, and looking at the beautiful darshan of Lord Jagannath, he fell unconscious. Later on, our Sarvabhattacharya woke him up and took the body to his house. And then when Nityananda Prabhu and others, when they chanted the holy name, then Mahaprabhu came to external consciousness. So he was also internally rejoicing the spiritual life in relation to Lord Jagannath. In the same manner, you find Akura has his external designation as a minister of Kamsa. But while entering Vrindavan, he completely, it is said, hitva dambham bhiyam shucham, it is said. So he says that he gave up his damba as a minister of Kamsa. He gave up fear of Kamsa that he may hurt his family. And he had no lamentation of being in Kamsa's court. He said, I am not going to care about anything except Krishna. So his heart became flooded with remembrance of Krishna while entering Vrindavan. He was thinking, when I enter Vrindavan, there will be Krishna Balram milking the cows. Krishna will be wearing dazzling golden dhoti and Balram will be wearing bluish dhoti. And they both will look at me and say, "Oh, Uncle Akura," they'll call me. And although I am sinful working with Kamsa, when Krishna embraces me, all my sinful reactions will be eradicated. So in this way, he was actually having a manorath. It's called as Akrur manorath. In this world, the foolish conditioned soul is having his own material manorath. That material manorath is condemned as speculation. Whereas Akrur's manorath is glorified as spiritual absorption. You will see that. So we all need that kind of spiritual manorath. Yeah, a young boy, when his material manorath is looking at a young girl, or is thinking about his future career, is thinking about how much money will I make, which countries I will travel, how big I will become. That is his material manorath. And the spiritual manorath is, when will I become a pure devotee of Krishna? When will Krishna accept me? When I will be able to call his name purely. Nayanam galadashrudaraya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakair nichitam vapuh kada tava nama grihane bhavishyati. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressing his spiritual manorath. He's expressing. So I told you about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, told you about Akrura, I told you about Jadabharata, I told you about Uddhava. And Srila Prabhupada, in his ripe old age, is going to America. He is thinking about his spiritual master, he is thinking about Vrindavan, thinking about his god brothers, thinking about Lord Chaitanya. He's reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's living in an internal world, although externally his body is traveling to America. So Prabhupada said, I didn't travel to America alone. I traveled with Bhagavatam, he says. That means he thought Bhagavatam is traveling and I am going with Bhagavatam. He didn't say, I was taking one book of Bhagavatam with me. He didn't say. Because when we think like that, actually we think Bhagavatam is a dead book. But when you say Bhagavatam was going to America and I was accompanying Bhagavatam, which means Krishna is going to America and I am accompanying Krishna behind Krishna. And Krishna is going to create the transformation. Krishna is going to make great devotees in America. That was his consciousness. So in this way, those who are internally alert and awakened, they make rapid spiritual progress. And those who are externally very conscious but internally dead, they make very minimal progress. That is why he says, Durashaya ye bahir arthamanina. Those who consider the external world to be purposeful and internal world to be dead, they are actually called materialists. And spiritualists, for them, the internal world is fully blossomed. And it keeps on blossoming more and more. More realizations, more revelations, and more connection with the Lord. It's a day by day, day after day, it is a day of little increment in knowledge, increment in bliss, increment in service opportunities, increment in opening of the eyes, and then eyes become tinged with salve of love. Wherever the devotee turns around, he sees things in relation to Krishna. So in this way, this is how our chanting of the holy name is supposed to blossom from the external life to internal life. Externally, you think I am a boy, I am an engineer, I am a doctor. But internally we are Krishnadas. Krishna is my eternal master. I am his eternal servant. And my loving service to Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas is my only rarest commodity that I possess. So the purpose of coming together and staying in a center like this, practicing devotion service, is to awaken our internal life and not just remain stuck on the material plane. And the most important thing in bringing ourselves to the internal life is attentive hearing. That is why I was saying, shh. Why? Because one should be very attentive. Those who are, a deer which is not attentive is going to be attacked by a tiger or a crocodile. It will be swallowed. It will lose its life. And one who is attentive to hear, he can wake up. The sleeping soul will wake up to the reality, and it is only a matter of time why devotee will come very close to Krishna. So whether it is chanting of the holy name, or hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam, or instruction given by your superior, or warnings given to you after having seen your certain lower nature tendencies, some warnings are made to you, be careful, savdhan. So if you are attentive to these things, then you will be protected, you will be saved, you will be uplifted. And very soon you will come to internal life. Those people who are dull in spiritual life, they remain very external, even though they may do the rituals of the external life. You can wear dhoti kurta, you can wear tilak, you can wear kantimala, and even we can stay with devotees. But we may not grow at all sometimes when we are internally are not awake. And externally the rituals and rites are going on like a robotic machine getting instruction, and you give the coding and then the robotic machine moves hands, legs, everything. That means the robo is externally active, internally dead. So we could be like that. So the choice is ours, whether we want to have a plastic consciousness or elastic consciousness. Externally driven means plastic consciousness. Internally awake means elastic consciousness. The elastic consciousness keeps on elastically blossoming, bringing us to the point of love of God. And the most important thing to hear is the sound vibration of the chanting of the holy name. Harinam Prabhu ki